Hello, and this is Crystal Racing with today's review of the 2018 British Grand Prix. A very entertaining race to say the least. However, I have to say the aftermath left a massive sour taste in my mouth. I will go through the results. Sebastian Vettel finished first, 10 out of 10 performance, did nothing wrong all day, driver of the day, did everything perfectly. But of course, on to second place, it's Lewis Hamilton, 9 out of 10. But he is also my reject of the day, and I'm sorry, his post-race behaviour was out of order. First of all, he ignores Martin Brundle and Dave because apparently he was sweating too much. I mean, he sweated 3 kilos. That was his excuse on Instagram. I mean, Sebastian Vettel had all that tape around his neck, and he still did the interviews. And then, of course, on the podium, when he finally did his interview, he accused Kimi of hitting him deliberately. I'm sorry, folks, but Lewis Hamilton is that type of bloke who will take any chance to play the victim, and it's absolutely disgusting. I am absolutely sick to death of his behaviour. I am beyond sick of it now. And, you know, by forcing his fans to wait at least an extra 10 minutes so that he could do his interview, I mean, I'm sorry, all his fans and all the other people who turned up to watch the Grand Prix today, they have been paying very good money today, and they have been sweating an awful lot of body weight off themselves because it's been boiling hot in Britain for the past 2 weeks, and yet you go and sulk around like an absolute wanker. I'm so done with Lewis Hamilton. And all his fans defending him, saying, oh, the emotion is getting the better of him. Wow, I mean, I'm sorry, that's just a pathetic excuse. That's just not good enough. Let's face it, you know, people criticise Kimi Raikkonen and other drivers for being rude and shunning journalists, etc. But for some reason, I saw people making excuses for Lewis Hamilton. I'm sorry, but that guy, I'm sorry, this guy is getting treated like it's a special snowflake. He can fuck off. Third place was Kimi Raikkonen, 9 out of 10. Yeah, it was his fault for hitting Lewis Hamilton. Okay, I mean, Lewis did leave him some room, but then, of course, Kimi did accidentally get a bit too aggressive and whacked into him. It's one of those things. It's just racing. And Kimi dropped behind the 2 Red Bulls. You know, he had a hard time getting past the Red Bulls. And then, of course, he dropped behind a load of back markers where he had to do an early pit stop, and of course he had to do his 10-second time penalty at the same time, but he got through the traffic pretty swiftly. Yes, I know the Red Bull calamities did give him a chance to get back on the podium, and the fact that Bottas fell behind, but Raikkonen, despite struggling with the car after that initial hit with Lewis Hamilton, did well, and you know, despite the booing, he admitted it was his fault. And yes, I know a few people did criticise him for not apologising to Lewis Hamilton in the cool-down room, but to be honest, if the sort of person Lewis Hamilton is, why would you want to apologise to him at all? Because, you know, creating all these stupid conspiracy theories that Kimi deliberately punted him off so that Sebastian can get an advantage on him for the championship is just stupid, and I'm fucking sick of the bloke. Fourth place was Valtteri Bottas, 7 out of 10. Yes, he did do well with Lewis Hamilton having been shoved down the order after Lewis dropped down thanks to his bad start and being hit by Kimi. But with the older medium tyres, I know he really struggled, but to be honest, he did get jumped very, very easily by the 3 cars behind him, and you know, it would have been a 6 if he got passed by Ricciardo, but he did an okay job to hold on to 4th place in the end. Ricciardo finished 5th, 7 out of 10 points. A pretty average race, to be honest. Yes, he did well to hang on to give Bottas a headache towards the end of the race, but of course his Renault engine really just didn't have the grunt this weekend around the straights. 6th place was Nico Hulkenberg, 10 out of 10. Once again, the best of the rest. Didn't put a foot wrong, and yeah, Nico Hulkenberg once again bags 8 very valuable points for the Renault Sport F1 team. 7th place was Esteban Ocon, 9 out of 10. much improved performance considering Force India have been struggling a lot. And of course he finished in front of 8th place Fernando Alonso, who will get 8 points. Of course, Alonso did get shoved onto track by Magnussen, but you have to say, I don't know, it's almost a bit underwhelming considering the fact that Alonso is well known for making getting a lot out of his car. So I have to say, for him to finish 8th, I know once again he blew away Stoffel Vandoorne, but it does seem just a little bit underwhelming when we have seen him go to much bigger heights in recent times. 9th place was Kevin Magnussen, 7 out of 10. Very good performance, but he did get far too aggressive after the 2 safety cars. Just out of order, really. Magnussen, you need to calm down, okay? There's no need to shove people off on the exit corners. And the final point scorer in 10th place was Sergio Perez, 7 out of 10. I don't think he defended his place very well against Pierre Gasly towards the end of the race, but Gasly was found to be guilty of pushing Perez off the track, so I'm not really here to argue with the stewards over that decision because, well, it's the last point score position. To be fair, Gasly probably did push his luck a bit too far. 11th and 12th place was Stoffel Vandoorne and Lance Stroll, 6 out of 10. Stoffel Vandoorne was out-qualified by 9 tenths of a second by Alonso. And you have to remember, last year at this track, Vandoorne out-qualified Alonso by half a second. So in the space of 12 months, Vandoorne has just gone backwards. That guy from Belgium is literally now clinging onto his seat for 2019. You know what it is? I think McLaren might be tempted to get rid of him for next season because he has done almost very little, really, considering the fact that I know the car still has problems, but it is a better car than last year, but yet he really is struggling, and that is very disappointing. And Stroll, as always, is just rubbish. 13th place was Pierre Gasly. I have to say the 10-second penalty was harsh, and of course he finished down in 13th because of the 2 safety cars pushing up the pack so much, but yeah, unlucky, mate. And then of course 14th and the final guy that checkered flag was Sergei Sorokin, 5 out of 10. He had been in front of Lance Stroll for the first half of the race, but then after the 2 safety cars, Lance Stroll blew past him and Sorokin just in no man's land. Max Verstappen, who I'm not sure whether he was classified or not, I think he might have been put down as a retiree, gets 7 out of 10. Yeah, he did a fairly decent performance holding off Raikkonen and Hamilton and his teammate Ricciardo, but then of course after the 2 safety cars he lost his position to Raikkonen. Then Ricciardo strolled past him, and then of course he had that 2 spins, which of course the last one he was forced to stop with mechanical issues. So yeah, and I did see a bit of on-board footage where he almost clattered Raikkonen off the road. So I have to say, a very, very average performance today for Max. Nowhere near where he was last week at Austria, but of course he's young and he needs to learn. Grosjean gets 3 out of 10 for me today. Just what was he doing? Walloping Sainz off the track. I mean, I know it's not, he didn't mean it intentionally, but once again, you know, when you take into account he had that crash in free practice on what's it, FP1, and forced his mechanic to spend an entire day and a night to fix his car. It's not good enough anymore, especially when you consider that he did finish P4 last weekend. You know, the guy has the speed, but my God, he makes so many stupid mistakes every weekend. What's the point? I'm sorry, what's the point of him doing that well one weekend when he just blows it the next? It's just, his time in F1 is surely ticking away. Carlos Sainz gets 6 points for me. Yeah, he was probably a bit too optimistic to go around the outside of Grosjean, but you know, I don't want to play the blame game because today it's not been I'm not really happy today. Even though it is the 3rd consecutive podium for Kimi this season, I am a bit pissed off. Ericsson gets 3 out of 10. Oh dear, Marcus, just another bang average weekend and you stick the car in the wall again. Yes, you did well last weekend in Austria, but But in Britain, you were nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, his teammate Leclerc gets 7 out of 10. Got into Q3, looked like he was probably going to score a point or two today before, of course, that Mysterious probably had after his pit stop. And then, of course, Brendan Hartley will not be scored, will not be given any points because, he was forced to stop at the start. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.